Sunshine Coast. Our reporter Alison Horn joins us from there. Alison, what is the latest information we have at hand this morning?
Well, Michael, we have just heard from police that they are questioning, speaking with a number of teenagers this morning over this incident at Peregian Beach. As you spoke about, there is still quite a severe situation here, an emergency level warning for residents of Peregian Beach and Peregian Springs, and that's just been extended further up the coast to areas including Marcus Beach, Wyber and Castaways Beach. And if you have a look around, you can understand why. These giant plumes of smoke that we're seeing behind us are coming from this fire that is still very active. It is not controlled or contained by any means. And in the last 10 minutes, we have seen water bombers going over this area trying to control that blaze. And that really brings into perspective what the danger was last night, because when this fire flared around 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it was quite sudden and hundreds of residents were evacuated. But because it was night time, it was made all that much more difficult trying to fight the blaze. And water bombers are unable to be used at night. So this is really the first opportunity that those aerial resources will be used here. Of course, there are 68 fires still burning across Queensland. This, though, is considered one of the most serious.
OK, and people are being told, according to the latest advice we have from the Queensland Fire Authorities, to leave. This includes the Peregian Breeze Estate as well, Alison, and leave as quickly as they can.
Yeah, and as you can see, Michael, behind me, this is the roadblock that is still set up at the entrance to Peregian Beach. And down the other end of this road, there's dozens of cars that are lined up on the side of the road, waiting to try and get access back into this community to see what sort of damage has been sustained overnight. Very early on this morning, there were a couple of people that managed to walk into the community to try and see how their properties had fared. They're telling us that it looks like most of the community has been saved. Authorities yesterday told us that 10 properties had been destroyed. This morning they will have an opportunity to try and further assess the extent of that damage. But the main concern is that the winds are expected to change, and so that could make any sort of assessment and indeed trying to keep that fire within any sort of a containment line more challenging.
Indeed, and it was the wind that whipped up that horrifying ember attack last night that caught firefighters off guard. They quickly scrambled to do their best to try to bring it under control. We're showing our viewers, Alison, some pictures of these embers flying everywhere through the air yesterday. It was absolutely terrifying on the ground.
Yeah, that word, ember attack, it just sends shivers down your spine. And certainly residents that we've spoken to who were watching that sort of a situation unfold around 7 o'clock at night, that is why they said that they heeded those warnings to evacuate. And you can imagine it's not just the fire front, but when you've got embers that are travelling up to 1 kilometre away and are lodging in the cavities of people's roofs and perhaps starting those blazes in those properties, that's why this situation is so dangerous. And when that wind will change later today, it's going to be really, really tough and challenging.
Alison Horn will stay across the situation on the ground there. Thank you for your reporting. Lisa, good morning to you.
Good morning,
a very challenging
Michael.
morning for so many of our viewers.